What's going on YouTube? It's REE-ZON. On the way to work, on that grind. Felt like coming at y'all with a new video. Basically, this one is it was kind of inspired by a friend I have. I got a friend of mine, haven't seen him face to face in years, but still keep in touch through Facebook and stuff like that, primarily through Facebook. Is one of my homies from a job I used to have about 3 or 4 years ago, but always would go back and forth about games and the gaming industry, and he's a real Xbox fan and claims that he's always loved Nintendo but never has anything good to say about Nintendo. And this past weekend I got a status update on my Facebook from him. Ever since the Wii U's come out, he's just been dogging it. Bad sales, no third-party support, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, I got a status update. I think it was on Saturday morning. But old news, actually, because this news was made known to the gaming world, I think Wednesday or Thursday of last week. So all the way on Saturday, he hits me up. Oh, and now EA, for the first time since 1991, is removing the Madden franchise from a Nintendo console, and he starts using this as more ammunition for how Nintendo's failing and blah 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 and all this garbage. Alright, so I respond and I say, okay, so Nintendo and Nintendo fans, Nintendo Wii U owners should really be worried about Madden not being on the Wii U. Really? This is what we need to worry about? Let me just put it in perspective. EA, who has been voted for the second consecutive year as the worst company in America, we need to be worried about them not giving us any support? Them, really? First of all, them giving us no support is a false statement, because I seem to remember that I own 5 Wii U games, and one of them is Need for Speed Most Wanted U, which is the best version of the game, and it's from EA and Criterion Games. So that's number one. Madden came out on the Wii U and launched. That's number two. Just because you're skipping this year doesn't mean anything. And number three, let's really be honest with ourselves. Madden has been an underachieving, overrated piece of garbage of a series for I don't know how long. Now, I know it's a big seller, so I will admit that not having that big seller does in some ways hurt. But it doesn't hurt that much when you got another gigantic seller and Mario Kart Wii U coming out sometime this year, when you got Smash Bros. 4 coming out sometime this year, when you got Wind Waker HD coming out sometime this year, when you got the Wonderful 101 on the horizon, when you got Pikmin 3 coming out this year. I mean, really, come on. Come on. Are we really going to worry about Madden? Truth be told, Madden has not been a good series since before the Dreamcast. When the Dreamcast came out with NFL 2K and the NFL 2K franchise took off, ever since then, NFL 2K put a beat down on Madden every single year. Just like NBA 2K puts a beat down on NBA Live, to the point where they didn't even make an NBA Live this year or the year before, if I'm mistaken. They're completely trying to rebrand it and rename it and all this, and it hasn't even come out because they just don't know what the hell to do to compete with NBA 2K and 2K Sports. So, that being said, Madden, all it has been consistently for years is a roster update with maybe one new game feature, one new slight addition to the gameplay that really doesn't do anything. Now, does it have legions of fans? Yes. Why? Because EA was smart. They bought up the NFL 2K franchise and they silenced it. That was one of the smartest moves they ever made, because they were never going to beat NFL 2K. So what they did was they bought the rights to that and silenced it. That's why there's no more NFL 2K since I think 2001 or 2002, something like that. And they continue with the Madden franchise. So now Madden is the only NFL franchise you will have until that agreement runs its course and maybe another franchise is allowed to come out. But until that point, Madden is the only one we got. So we're stuck with subpar football games. So I'm supposed to be concerned that EA's not bringing Madden to the Wii U for 2014. Madden 25 will not be on the Wii U. I just answered him after I told him all this and he couldn't say anything. I ended it with 2 words. Who cares? Who cares that Madden's not going to be on the Wii U? Okay? Because at the same time that Madden's not going to be on the Wii U, I guarantee you something. Smash Brothers is not going to be on anything but Wii U. Okay? Zelda's not going to be on anything but Wii U. Zombie U isn't on anything but Wii U. So there are games that skip certain platforms. There are exclusives to platforms, and then there are multiplats that come out across all platforms, and then there are some multiplats that skip a console or two. It happens. Okay? It's not a big deal. It really isn't. Okay? When Nintendo's continually growing, okay, When you got an exclusive like Monster Hunter Tri or Monster Hunter Ultimate, whatever it's called, that's selling like hotcakes all over the world, especially in Europe, who cares that a subpar, underwhelming, overrated, underachieving football game is not coming to the Wii U? Is that really going to devastate Nintendo's chances? No, it's not. Because you know what? The most selling sports franchise right now, for the last couple years, has not been Madden. It's been NBA 2K. And NBA 2K is on the Wii U. And it's planned to come out on the Wii U for the next installment as well. So, come on, let's get real. It's just continual anti-Nintendo hate by people who just can't stand the fact that the only next generation console available right now is Nintendo's. And when Sony and Microsoft drop theirs, we'll see what they're going to do. But it's funny because Nintendo's receiving a bunch of hate for the way that their system is selling and the lack of first-party titles at this moment. But I'm looking at the different articles and different threads on certain games, like, for example, Watch Dogs. I read an article about the specific differences that we're going to have in the PS4 version of Watch Dogs compared to the Wii U and compared to all the other ones. And they're minor, really gimmicky differences. Like the biggest difference, the biggest focus on the unique, quote-unquote unique aspects of the PS4 experience for Watch Dogs is the emphasis on the share function. Nintendo's got Miiverse. We can share all we want. We don't care. So the biggest thing is not the graphics. It's not a different gameplay mode. It's not additional content. It's emphasis on the share function with that little tacked on share button on the PS4 controller that'll allow you to stream a limited amount of video to their community. That's it. And I'm reading all the comments from, there was like 60 or 70 comments after that article, and no one really had anything good to say about it. Everybody was like already slamming and hating on the PS4 for this. One guy even said exactly what I've been saying. He was like, so a slight graphical upgrade and the ability to share video. This is next gen? This is what next gen is about? Really? Exactly my point. So, I mean, they're both these new systems coming out, PS4 and Xbox Infinity or Xbox Eternity or Xbox whatever the hell it's called. They're both going to get slammed. They're both going to receive a decent amount of hate and negativity, just like the Wii U has. But the funny part is that when they receive it, their fanboys are going to be talking about how it's hate and how it's not fair and blah, 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 blah. But while their fanboys are throwing it on the Wii U, it's perfectly fine. You know, that's the funny part to me, man. What I say is, let these two new consoles drop this holiday season. Let the Wii U continue rolling, and then give it another year and a half or two and see where all three are. Because that's what really determines. It's the long run. It's not the initial bang, the initial boom, the debut, and how they're doing at the beginning. It's how are you doing a couple years down the line when the console war this generation has been engaged for a couple of years, and it's already been going, and games are coming out for all three systems, and they have their exclusives, and they have their multiplats, and they have their different experiences and functionalities well integrated. You know, all that's not going to happen at first. I guarantee you that, especially if this new Xbox requires an online always online, always on connection, I guarantee you there's going to be problems and bugs and downfalls to that are going to severely cripple it at launch. If PS4 comes out and has a ridiculous price point like its predecessor did, or, you know, anything like that, crashing errors or whatever, it's going to get slammed and it's going to be damaged severely in its launch as well. Just like the Wii U was damaged severely by sales and a laggy interface, slow, long drawn-out load times that thank God they fixed with their update, and it does work. It has quickened the system significantly. So, you know, it's gonna happen. You can't you can't gauge them at the beginning. You got to give it a couple years and see when all three are rolling, who's really on top. I mean, that's what happened with the Wii. The Wii came out and sold like a mother at launch, destroyed the PS3 and 360. And everybody said, oh, it was a gimmick. Oh, let's wait, let's give it time. Well, 3.5 years later, the Wii was still outselling the hell out of both those systems, and in some places impossible to find. Even 3 years after launch, was still sold out pretty much worldwide. That's when you know. You know what I'm saying? It's not at the beginning, it's after a couple years. So yeah, like I said, this homeboy of mine was like, oh, Madden 25 not coming out on the Wii U, there goes your third-party support, I'm telling you, Nintendo's failing, they got to get their heads out of their asses, blah, 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 blah. It's Madden. Who gives a rat's ass about a roster update, a yearly roster update that you're going to charge $50 to $60 for? I certainly don't. I haven't played football games since 2K went under. I mean, I played it. I've tried this Madden 11 or Madden 12 or whatever, but played them, like bought them, like been on them the way I used to on NFL 2K. No, because once NFL 2K was stopped from production, was bought out by EA and never made again, there hasn't been a quality football game. So it's not a big deal, dude. You know, like, I know there's Madden fans out there, legions of them, and yes, they might be mad about this, but let's be real. How many of us gamers out there only have one system? You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some of us who are not fortunate enough to have more than one system. And for that, you're going to have to make a decision on which one you want, and you're going to have to stick with it. But for the most part, by God's grace, the majority of us are able to afford more than one system. Maybe not at launch, we don't get both, but maybe we get the one that we really want at launch, and then later on we get another one. That's what I did. I got a Wii at launch. I didn't get a PS3 until a year and a half after it came out, so that I can have the HD experience when it comes to sports. When it comes to, you know, games like that I want the photorealism. For the rest of my games, I was on the Wii. Same thing in the previous generation. I had a GameCube. Was all over the GameCube. And about 3 or 4 years after, I bought an Xbox so I can have my Star Wars games, so I can have my 2K games. You know, it is what it is. So yeah, Madden may not be on the Wii U, and for this year, they didn't say anything about permanently. They said they want to continue to try to bring it to Wii U. So, you know, they're going to make those efforts. But it's not going to be there this year. Okay, fine. Get everything else on the Wii U and get your Madden fix on 360 or PS3 or PS4 or Xbox Infinity or whatever. But that's not going to damage the Wii U long term at all. It's not even going to damage it short term, really. So, God bless y'all, stay gaming. Just so I had to come on here and clear the air about that. It's no big deal, people. It's no big deal. Nintendo has been traditionally known for missing out on a multi-platform game every now and again. It's never hurt them before. It's not going to hurt them now. God bless y'all. Stay gaming. Peace.